Good afternoon, everybody. This is a warm welcome from my side to the 52nd International Symposium on Robotics. Welcome to the business track this afternoon session. My name is Manuel Ebner, and I want to quickly introduce myself. Now it works. I worked for almost 7 years for Fanuc in the actual role as Manager of Sales Coordination Robotics Europe. And I'm responsible there for international coordination and support on our international projects and customers. Today, I want to talk at the next half an hour about our response to the new era of factory automation, which means, in other words, I want to provide you some solutions for high accuracy and human-robot collaboration, and Fanuc's solutions for exactly these two topics. Let me introduce Fanuc quickly to the auditorium. Fanuc, probably all of you know, is a Japanese-based company coming from the Yamanashi prefecture on the foot of Mount Fuji. We are today a company of more than 8,000 employees with an annual turnover of more than 4.1 billion euro. We reach about 20% of our turnover in Europe. This was according to our last year's results. Fanuc is the automation factory, and we state that especially when we have a look into our own factories, we live the automation in our own factories, which means we have a highly automated and robotized factory. In our premises, robots make robots. So this is not just a story, as you can see on the videos shown below. This is real screenshots directly coming out of our factories. Our factories have numerous robots in place. Right now, we are talking about several thousands of them in our own factory. Fanuc's core technology, based on all more or less on our CNC controls and on our servo motors, is started in the middle of the last century. And in the meantime, you can see here the numbers. This represents the number of our globally installed products. I want to draw your attention especially to the number of robots. So right now, we're talking of almost 700,000 robots running all over the world, produced by Fanuc. Fanuc's range on robots itself is a very wide range. We're talking about more than 100 robot models in the meantime. Here you can see a short lineup of our models. We are talking about a payload range starting from 0.5 kg up to 2.3 tons payload, all in the different types of robots, means from articulated series, SCARA series, pelletizing robots, delta, paint robots, and of course, last but not least, collaborative robots. Today, I want to talk not only about the typical Fanuc robot application areas, or let's say industrial robot application areas. You probably all know the typical applications you can see here, like spot welding, arc welding, painting, typical handling applications like loading, unloading, or pelletizing. And another very interesting application is the washing application. For example, you can see on the top right, on the bottom right corner. Today, I want to talk about some solutions for rather new fields where industrial robots may be applicable. And therefore, I want to start with, now it works. Now I want to start with our solution for high accuracy applications. So this is rather something that was more or less related to conventional automation solutions like gantries or other forms of automation solutions. Today, I want to introduce to you our brand new M800 series, our industrial robot with maximum precision and outstanding path accuracy, But it's not just an articulated robot with 80 kg, 60 kg payload and 2 meters reach. No, the robot comes with some additional features like high rigidity. So means the robust construction is specifically designed to increase the precision on the application itself. It comes with IR calibration signature, means in other words, it's an absolute calibrated robot. This is already included in the standard. It brings high accuracy, ideally suited for, let's say, laser applications or other applications. And it has a very fast and accurate motion, especially in narrow corners, which improves the quality of laser cutting or laser welding, for example. Another example for that high accuracy application could also be drilling systems, probably known from the aerospace industry or other markets where drilling or milling with robots is considered. And therefore, we have that solution with the new M800 ready to go. On the next slide, I want to show you a quick video on the capabilities of the robot. You can see very fast motions with high precision, especially in the corners. This can be used, as I said before, for laser welding, laser cutting, for example, and probably the one or the other application you may have in your facility. I want to come to another point. I want to introduce to you our solution for in our thinking, the new solution for a human-robot collaboration. And therefore, we introduced a new era of collaborative technology. And we introduced this year our brand new CRX series. The CRX series is our new collaborative robot. And you probably ask yourself, what is the abbreviation CRX stand for? So that just means, in other words, collaborative robot, and the X stands for the next generation. The CRX itself brings lots of brand new features with it. As you can see here on the slide, some bullet points. It has a complete new lightweight ergonomic arm design. You've probably never seen that before on a Fanuc robot. It has a brand new lightweight compact controller, which runs with 230 volts standard. It has a completely new intuitive user interface, which can be controlled and used with manual guided teaching. And of course, a brand new tablet TP with our new interface. It also brings an easy connection to third-party peripherals, such as grippers or other equipment, which may be used together with that robot. And therefore, we provide several possibilities to do your own app design and bring your functionalities together with that new robot. I want to go a bit deeper into the new interface and especially the direct and intuitive robot operation. So that means, in other words, you can easily move your robot to position, of course, with manual guiding. This is probably known by one or the other Cobots as well, with our standard robots. But what the CRX series brings with is the new programming, which works with a completely simple drag and drop programming on that new tablet TP with a large touch screen, which you can see on the next slide. There you have a screenshot of the new app, the new interface, and it is divided into 4 sections. That brings the status bar in the very top of the screen. There you can find some drop-down menus, status icons to navigate through the app itself. You have a 3D view panel, which shows, in this case, the robot itself, but you can show it also together with the environment, with some grippers or other equipment surrounded by the robot. This typically helps you to display on graphically the robot status, as well as taught positions or the complete program itself. In the next section below, you find the timeline program view, which brings an intuitive program representation and a very simple program navigation. That means via drag and drop, coming from the programming panel on the very bottom of the screen, you can put the icons to the timeline, and with that simple action, you generate your program and are of course also able to adjust parameters in the details section, which you can see in this area. Of course, when we're talking about cobots, we are not talking about typical robot applications. And in the very beginning, I said I want to introduce you some solutions, but solutions is not only the product itself. When we pay attention to cobots, then we typically do not speak about low cycle times or high-speed applications, robots behind fences, or even dangerous tools, like you can see on that picture. I want to talk about solutions with our new colleague, the colleague robot. And therefore, of course, employee acceptance is a very important point to work hand in hand with the robot. And therefore, to provide you a real solution, we developed a new guideline to introduce or to ask yourself whether cobots are considerable in your daily business, in your factories. And we created 7 steps for that reason, and I want to introduce you now to that 7 steps one by one. So the first step of all, of course, is you have to assess your current business and possible barriers to development. So that means you should ask yourself, which markets could you enter with better quality? Of course, if you talk about robots or automation, one of the most important factors is always to increase quality. And of course, on the other hand, customers demand that as well. The next question you could ask yourself is, what would your production capacity be on a 24-hour, 7-day basis? You know, if you're talking about small or medium-sized enterprises, probably only 1 or 2 shift models are in consideration today. But introducing robots could considerably increase your production capacity itself. And of course, another very, very important question is customer value moving from product services in your markets? So these are the first steps you should consider when thinking of possible cobot automation. In the next step, we would say to address automation starting from your most valuable resource, your employees. So that means list all zero value operations where you have no added value to the product or your service itself. Track especially musculoskeletal disorder hazards, which means which movements or which operations are very, very exhaustive or pay attention to the mental load. That means, in other words, boring activities or repeating activities of your employees, and identify the critical skills itself. So means where are the employees critical and the capabilities, especially of the operators. This does not always mean it goes hand in hand with the robot automation. If you have listed all these factors, you get to the next step, and that is evaluate potential applications and choose the most valuable one. So that means cross-analyze the results from the first 2 steps, screen applications according to cobot possibilities. So that means could be pick and place applications, could be quality applications, could be finishing or assembly applications, could be machine tending, packaging, palletizing. In other words, you can see there's a full range of different applications where cobots might be implemented, but you have to find the ideal scoring application. Step 4 is eliminate safety concerns. So if you identify the kind of collaboration, you have to identify, do the robot or the cobot and the employee work on their own but share only space? Do they collaborate indirectly with humans? Does the cobot assist humans in a particular task, or does it collaborate directly with humans? So these 4 different scenarios bring up different possible applications and different needs for the application at the end of the day. So that means make sure you will always be able to use your cobots wherever you plan to. Step 4, of course, step 5, of course, ROI. When it comes to money, you have to define the return on investment and especially the time frame. So therefore, you could value all expected benefits, as I said before, coming from higher production capacities, coming from better quality. Set your investment cost targets. So therefore, when we're talking about investment cost targets and when it comes to cobot automation, given the investment of a cobot application, you typically find out that it is way lower than a conventional automation project. And therefore, you can expect the ROE coming faster compared to a standardized automation. And when you do all these steps, then and you find out the ROE is exactly where you want it to be, then you could choose your right cobot. That comes with the application said before. Therefore, you have to analyze which payloads does the robot have to carry. In Fanuc's range, for example, we are talking about a range of 4 kilograms up to 35 kg, and the CRX itself is in the middle with 10 kilograms payload. You have to consider the reach, of course. The robot should have the right reach to accomplish and automate your production line. The productivity means once the robot is properly configured, you will see the productivity increase in your company. Repeatability, of course, is necessary. So means there are different models with different repeatabilities. The choice is definitely driven by the application itself. Means, in other words, what repeatability do I really need for that specific task? And of course, you can still upgrade your robot with additional sensors or equipment like IR vision, which is a camera system with 4 sensors, which make the robots even more intelligent and easy to use. So you make them, in other words, see or feel. And the last step is also a very, very important one. Our recommendation is really look beyond your first cobot. This is necessary. Use your first cobot to reveal passion for robotics in your company with your employees. Nurture curiosity about robotics in the automation world itself. And as the last step, get ready for new applications. Here we have a quick checklist for recap, so you can quickly assess through these topics I mentioned before. I want to summarize shortly on this point. So assess current business and barriers to development. Address automation starting from your most valuable resource, your employees. Evaluate potential applications and choose the most valuable one. Eliminate your safety concerns. Define your ROE and the time frame. Choose the right cobot, and once it's installed, look beyond it. Now I talked a lot theoretically. Now I want to show you some real applications coming out of the field, which shows you the broad range of utilizing cobots. The first one is palletizing. So means with that manual guided teaching, you can simply position and program the robot for your palletizing tasks. You quickly install the application, and the robot takes over the task, which is compared to an operator probably a very exhaustive task. Another interesting application when it comes to cobots, and especially not the cobot functionality itself, but especially the easy programming and the intuitive interface, is, for example, arc welding. When it comes to arc welding, we experienced in the last months and years a very big increase in using cobots when it comes to arc welding. The advantages are definitely a very easy setup, especially for small lot sizes. You can easily adjust and teach the robot and carry out typical arc welding tasks. Given the high rigidity and the good performance of the robot, you can ensure a proper weld seam. Of course, when it comes to machine tending, the robot or the cobot can assist you in a very easy way. Again, with that manual guided teaching, you can simply adjust it to new products, to new tasks for the robot. You can, as I said before, enlarge the scope with, for example, additional camera systems to find the raw parts on a pallet, and you can then easily connect it to your milling machine, lathe, or whatever. When it comes to cobots, what is also often seen, for example, that the robots are placed on a small facility itself, which means you can load different machines very easily and bring it from one station to the other. Quality inspection tasks is also a very interesting application for cobots. Like shown in this example, the robot is used for the inspection of battery trays, and the system compares, for example, images to the actual parts and defines I/O and NIO parts. Now we can see another example. And this one does not pass, and therefore the operator can place the red button onto the tray, and the quality is ensured. Last example I want to show you is sanding. Cobots are also used for sanding applications compared with additional force sensors, for example, which allows the robot to smoothly finish the surfaces, for example, like shown in that video here. That brings me to the end of my short introduction for the new solution for industrial robot solutions. And I want to give you one last question. Why settle for less when you can get more? At this point, I want to say thank you for your attention.
Ebner, prima, wunderbar. Viel Neues im kollaborativen Bereich. Okay, I heard that I can start now. Okay, thank you very much. A warm welcome to the last business track of today. So we have a really busy and exciting week at Kawasaki Robotics. We have our first virtual Expo. It started this week, and we have many new products available in the market today. And not at least this presentation today on ISR 2020. And I hope you can hear me. Mr. Pariser, thank you very much for inviting me, for inviting Kawasaki Robotics. I think currently it's not so easy because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so I think this is a very good tool to speak to each other, to show new things. And we heard so many good things in these presentations today, and I think tomorrow too. And so the main point for me is I hope everybody out there is healthy, everybody is okay. And so thank you very much for inviting me and Kawasaki Robotics with my presentation. How much automation do small companies need? But let me say some words to my person. My name is Daniel Tillmann. I'm the sales manager of Kawasaki Robotics here in Germany since 2017. And it was a very exciting time for me and for my colleagues. I can imagine my first visit at a customer was 4 years ago, and I go to the customer, I went to the customer, and he asked me, okay, where's your motorcycle? And no, I'm here with a portfolio of robotics, and it was, for me, it was very funny. And today, everybody knows that we have not only motorcycles, we have robotics too. And because of that, I will say thank you very much to my colleagues in Neuss, in our headquarters, to my colleagues in the sales team Germany. They did a really good job. Thank you very much. I will tell you in this tool today. Okay, now I will switch to my presentation. And I hope you can see the presentation, and I hope you can hear my voice. Okay, my topic is how much automation do small companies need? It's a really good question, I think. And before I was at Kawasaki Robotics, I worked for some automation SMEs. SMEs is the medium-sized companies. I worked there as a project manager, as a sales manager, and at least as a managing director. And I learned my conviction. Selling is a matter between friends. I think that's very important. I see our customers as equal partners to whom we want to make life easier. And so I share our values and ideas with my customers and with our partners. And this was the idea for the presentation today. How much automation do small companies need? Let's say something to Kawasaki Robotics. Okay, as you know, not only motorcycles, I told you, Kawasaki Robotics is one division of Kawasaki Heavy Industries in Japan. And we have about 37,000 people worldwide with about nearly 100 subsidiaries. And I think the number in the middle of this slide is very interesting. You can see the total robots installed till today, and it's nearly 217,000 robots. That means that we have a production per year of 23,000 robots. Kawasaki Robotics is one of the oldest robot suppliers in the market. We have about 50 years of experience with industrial robot automation. And you can see on this slide on the right side, we have so many applications and we have the robots for this application. For example, I will point out handling. For example, I will point out painting, washing, wafer handling is very interesting. And I think clean room applications. Today, in the next few minutes, I will speak about arc welding in combination with mid-sized companies. But first, let me give you the entry in this subject. My vice president, our vice president, said a good sentence: "Nothing is more constant than change." And I think that is very easy to understand. We had 4 industrial revolutions: the mechanization, the first mass production, then we had the computers and the first robots, and then we talked about machine networking, the IoT, the digitization since I think 2 years. But my point is, don't forget the low-hanging fruits, and that's a very important point for the medium-sized companies. What does it mean? The low-hanging fruits are often forgotten. Instead, companies believe that the use of artificial intelligence for process automation is a must-have. And I think, is that always the right way? I think perhaps, but I think Kawasaki has the job to provide easy solutions for process automation. But to understand it in medium-sized companies, I think we must clear the question, what exactly does process automation mean? Okay, automate recurring processes, it's clear. Increase productivity, okay. But I will show you in the next slides what is very important for the medium-sized companies. The current situation, as I told you, is not so easy. Let's have a look on the current situation. COVID-19 is a very big problem. The pandemic has shown how vulnerable supply chains are. If more companies produce locally here in Germany in the future, I think robotics will play an important role. That's the first point. The second point is the demographic change. As you know, you can see it on the picture, it's a funny picture, but when you have, for example, 3 guys who go to the retirement, you have less workers who can take their job. When 3 guys go to the retirement, you have only 2 guys who can do the job. And that's a big problem. We have no new workers. And the third point is the lack of skilled workers. When you go to the job center, you can see that's a very big point. And the last few weeks, let me say the last few months, showed in my discussion with the customers that everybody in medium-sized companies want to automate, yes. And they see the need, but they have strong reservations. And that's our job to find a good solution. Why reservations? We have the high cost, we have the technical hurdle, the expert knowledge is needed. And a very big point I will point out is the mid-sized companies often do not know what it includes and where to start. And my job and the job of the German sales team of Kawasaki Robotics and all over the world is to find the right solution. Okay, like Mr. Ebner of Fanuc, I will show you a short introduction of our robots. You can see on the right corner, we have from payload 3 kilograms up to 1.5 tons. We have articulates robots, we have collaborative robots, palletizing robots, delta kinematics. Everything is in this portfolio. But the very big point is that we give the right solution for the medium-sized company. Advantages are clear. We have the higher output in production. The production is on a high quality level. You save time and cost, of course. Less monotonous work. It's very important for me because you can give the good workers more important tasks. Yeah, the ergonomic working conditions are very important because let the robot give the difficult work. And so you can, when you have the right solution, you can save the production of the medium-sized company here in Germany and all over the world on a long-term run. It is important for small and medium-sized companies to make their own experience, I think, with robotics and automation. Only when they do their own experience, they know what is good and what is not good. And my experience at Kawasaki Robotics is when they see the high quality with the robotics, the little downtime and the production at night and on weekends, and okay, the robot is not ill, then they can understand where they can use the robotics. And so, in my opinion, from my point of view, the start is much more easier because when you have there one robot, it is not a long way to install the robot number 2, the robot number 3, and so on. We as Kawasaki Robotics pay attention to user-friendly systems. Acceptance is determined by the quality of the new interfaces. And that's very important. It must be a plug-and-play solution. Today we heard something about arc welding. And the last few months, the Kawasaki worked on a good strategy in this segment, arc welding solution. And why? Okay, it's clear. When you have a view on the market, you see on the right side of this slide, you see the ISR report. and you see that the welding robots are the second biggest market in the world. But for this automation, you need time, manpower, programming skills, and money. And that's the basic why we search for a solution and need a solution to start immediately. And that's the CRX basic. On this slide, you see down, you see some good photos of our small CRX basic. And the next slide, I will go into detail. We try to combine the advantages of automation with the flexibility of an experienced welder, and that's it. We need good quality, we need high speed, we need a good efficiency, and no downtime. And the Kawasaki Robotics CRX Basic Single offers a complete turnkey arc welding robot solution for your production. Everything you need within is in one compact cell, suitable for MIG and MUG welding, flexible and powered by a Kawasaki robot. For example, in this case, BA006N. It's only the name of the type. And the robot, and we have some more other high quality components. I will give you an idea of plug and play. CRX Basic Single provides everything you need to automate your process. Okay, when we go into the technique, it's much more easier to understand. You have a complete cell with a safety module cubic S included and complete arc welding equipment. It's ready to weld. I think this is a lower barriers to entry into medium-sized companies. But this is only the hardware. Yes, first we have the hardware, and now we need the software to have a much more easier programming since in the past. Because the last 20 years, I think one guy in this presentation told us nothing changed. It's everybody thinks it is a hurdle to program a robot. Sorry for that. I will give you some good sequences of the video, but it's online, no problem. You can see it on LinkedIn and on other networking things. Okay. We have the software K-Virtual. That's a point. That's a software I will point out. With K-Virtual, Kawasaki Robotics has a new 3D simulation software for example, plant engineering, robot simulation, and offline programming. And for sure, with K-Virtual, we offer you the optimal tool for planning your individual SME automation solution. It's very fast to learn, and it saves time and at least money. And so you can see it on this video. When I worked on a medium-sized company as a machine builder, we had always 3D programs, but it was not so easy. And this is an intuitive program that you can have all our robots in this program, and you have the digital program of the process. Okay, and so we have answer to this question: who should program so many welding robots? You. That's the answer. You with this tool. It's intuitive, it's easy to learn, only in a few hours. And in our academy in Neuss, we have the possibility to show you this tool. Okay, now we had the hardware, we have the software. But what is hardware and software when you have nobody who take care of you? And so we take care of you with our service department, with our service guys. And so I think very important for this is the principle of MVP. It means the principle of preventive maintenance. And so, in short, quick and simple solutions that support you with intelligent algorithms. And so we have two new Kawasaki service concepts since a few months. On the one side, the Trend Manager. This software automatically analyzes all data of your robot. So we can use it as a diagnostic tool to predict inspections and to give information about problems in an early stage. And on the other side, we have the smart glasses. Smart glasses are very new, and let me describe you this tool. I think it's great. The technician on site connects to a Kawasaki serviceman via smart glasses. Through the live recordings, he sees what the technician sees. And I think this picture on this slide will show you. And when you use this tool as well as an audio connection, both technicians can communicate directly and identify and solve the problem. And everybody in this round knows downtimes and shutdowns are the worst case scenario. I'm sure predictive maintenance of Kawasaki Robotics concepts reduce this risk to a minimum. To complete our portfolio of arc welding products, you can see here the robots as well, okay? It's a basic, of course. You can see the positioners, they are very new. We have our own positioners today. And the Lineatrix. That we have a mobile robot here. But sorry guys, due to the lack of time, I am not able to discuss these products. And so I think it's very important to come to my conclusion. Every time I think it takes people and technology. I think in the market there are a lot of innovative technologies. They are in a starting position and offer new possibilities for medium-sized companies. Not to do anything would weaken the mid-sized companies' competitive position. So it would be difficult to win the challenges in the future. So my recommendation is be open, yeah, like in this slide, be open for new technologies and use what works for SMEs processes. I think Kawasaki Robotics can help you with this. As I told you, it's a very exciting week for us. We have our first virtual expo. And here you can see all our new products. I told you, due to lack of time, I cannot explain every product. Please, I will invite you to this virtual expo and you can come there and we can introduce you to all new products of Kawasaki Robotics. You go kawasakirobotics.com. Thank you guys, thank you everybody for inviting me to this slot at this day. And here are my contact data. If you have any questions, of course, you can contact me directly. And the main important thing I told you at the beginning of this presentation, stay healthy. And I hope you enjoyed this small presentation. And I can give you an idea of automate a medium-sized company. Thank you very much and stay healthy. Goodbye.